My stepson laughed in my face and told me I would never see a single cent from his father's $85 million estate. But when the lawyer finally read the will out loud, his smug expression completely disappeared. My stepson cornered me in the hospital hallway 3 hours after his father took his last breath. Don't bother coming to the will reading. Everyone knows you only married him because he was dying. You're walking away with nothing. I didn't respond because there was nothing to say to someone who had already decided who I was. Gerald and I met at a bookstore 4 years ago when we both reached for the same novel about hiking the Appalachian Trail. We were both in our 60s and both lonely in ways that only people who've lost their person can understand. He asked me to coffee and I said yes because something about his smile reminded me that life wasn't over yet. His son Randall opposed our relationship from the very first dinner. He interrogated me about my finances and asked pointed questions about prenuptial agreements before the salad course arrived. Gerald apologized later and explained that Randall had always been protective of the family money. What he didn't say then, but admitted later, was that Randall had burned through 2 trust funds and bankrupted 3 businesses that Gerald had invested in. Randall only called when he needed something, and the something was always money. When Gerald got his diagnosis, we had been married for 2 years. I held his hand through every chemotherapy session and learned how to change the tubes when the home nurse wasn't available. Randall visited twice during those 18 months, and both times he spent more time on his phone than in his father's room. The funeral was tasteful and small because that's what Gerald wanted. Randall played the grieving son for the guests and made sure to introduce me as my father's recent wife to anyone who would listen. His wife Bridget nodded along and fingered the diamond bracelet she wore to a funeral. The will reading was scheduled for the following Tuesday at a law office downtown. He left voicemails on my phone promising legal action and public humiliation. I almost stayed home because grief was exhausting and fighting felt pointless. But Gerald had asked me to be there. He held my hand the night before he stopped being able to speak and whispered that I needed to hear what he had written. So I went. Randall sat on one side with Bridget and their adult daughter Sloane, who had flown in from Seattle specifically for this moment.